Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. So for this week's drawing I decided to do a one marker challenge. So I poured out all my markers, I looked away, and I mixed. Now I promise I am not looking, my sister can vouch for this. And I pulled randomly and I pulled Lionet Gold. So I really wasn't sure what I was going to do with this. And as I was kind of just sketching out concepts, the idea of this golden fox came out. So this is a golden fox girl. As I was sketching this concept, I already kind of had an idea of how I wanted the colors to go. So that actually helped with the line art and helping me determine how thick to make certain lines. And I'll go over a little bit of that in a bit. So right here, as you can see, I have a mistake. So I am pulling out white acrylic paint and I'm just painting over it. This was in pen, and if I couldn't get this, I had already told myself I was going to trace it, but it turned out okay. And back to the line art. So when working with line art where you know that some of it's going to look kind of sketchy, or you know that you want certain lines to look really nice and crisp, I will go through with a smaller pen. So I went through with a 0.5 and I'll do basic line art, and then I will go through and make certain features thicker. The nice thing about thicker line art, especially when you're working with one color, is it helps to provide kind of depth. So with the Foxfire, you can see that I'm actually putting a lot of darkness right at the tips because the tips are going to be really dark, and it helps to kind of provide shading. And I'm actually going to go through and do this again at the end to kind of help neaten things up. So starting off with her face, I went in and just added color to the shadow areas. When working with one color, you have to be really careful not to give in to the desire to shade everything. Otherwise, everything will look really monotonous and you will lose all the details that you worked so hard on. And I'm putting just a couple of hash mark lines where some of the shadows are, the lighter shadows. And that will help kind of provide a difference between the really dark and the lighter dark. An important tip while working in only one color, make sure that you provide that visual separation between different parts. That way, if you decided to make everything the base color, it would look really boring, and a lot of your details would once again get lost. So instead, make sure that you have different things to separate each of the textures and the colors. Textures with your pen is another great way to break up those colors. Going in with her hair. So I actually had two markers that I used. They were both Lionet Gold, so it wasn't cheating that way. But one of the Lionet Golds that I had, it was an old one that was mostly dried out, and it actually kind of helped blend, and it kind of made a nice gradient effect without having to use any colorless blender, which, you know, might have been considered cheating. I also used it in the Foxfire to help provide a nice gradient through the Foxfire. Copic markers don't always, I have found, layer very well, but it provided just enough differentiation that it helped. While I was preparing to finish up, I went through and darkened certain areas with my black pen. The nice thing about increasing the thickness on some of those black lines is it will definitely help visually separate some of these places, like her strands of hair or her tail. That way you can kind of have a break between certain visual cues. And providing a little bit of cell shading at the corner of her hair helped to differentiate between her hair and her kimono. To finish this drawing off, I went through and added some textures to her gauntlets on the ties using my black multiliner and on her belt with a white gel pen. I want to thank you guys so much for watching. Please give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and don't forget to subscribe. Bye!